Guys, I'm here for another retro review, this being the retro review of WCW Spring Stampede 1994, the first of 5 Spring Stampedes. And there was another Spring Stampede till 1997, because WCW was not in the 12 pay-per-view a year mindset yet. So, this took place on April the 16th, 1994 from the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois. Technically, it's Rosemont, Illinois, but for some reason, all these companies want to say that building was in Chicago. Anyway, there are 8 matches, 4 title matches. So, our opening match, Johnny B. Bad versus Diamond Dallas Page, 1.5 star match. Not a horrible match by any means. I think they probably had some better matches later, but Bad wins with a sunset flip off the top rope. So, next match, WCW World Television Championship match, Lord Steven Regal versus Flyin Brian Pillman, 3 stars. This match goes to a 15-minute time limit draw, and Pillman did not get a rematch for the TV Championship. It instead went to Johnny B. Bad at Bash at the Beach 1994, and Zbyszko got one, and Larry Zbyszko got one at Slamboree 94, so the time limit draw here doesn't work for me. Because normally that's a reason to give the challenger a rematch for the championship, but it doesn't work because, well, Regal and Brian Pillman, this was their only match they had with another pay-per-view right around the corner. But a 3-star match. Next match, Chicago Street Fight. Not for the WCW Tag Team titles for some reason. The Nasty Boys, who are the WCW Tag Team Champions, facing Cactus Jack and Max Payne. 2-star match. With it being non-title, I think Cactus and Max Payne probably should have went over here, since it was non-title. Especially the Nasties lost the championships the next month at Slamboree to Cactus Jack and Cullen Sullivan, who was filling in for Max Payne. So you could have used that by having them win this non-title Chicago Street Fight. You could have used that as a reason for the rematch that they would have at Slamboree. But again, 2-star match nonetheless. WCW United States Championship match is our next match. Stunning Steve Austin versus the Great Muta. 1.5 stars. Ends with a DQ finish when Muta throws Austin over the top rope. I never liked the over-the-top rope rule because, one, it was an NWA rule that WCW kept around, but then even when they broke away from the NWA, which they didn't even do completely until 1994, they kept the rule until about 1995. And in the way Muta did this anyway, it's more of a defensive and a counter, so he shouldn't have been disqualified for it anyway because it was defensive and a counter.
Jimmy, you close that window.
So yeah. But technically, Steve Austin holds a victory over the Great Muta. So 1.5 stars. So then we get the WCW International World Championship match, which is basically what the WCW title would become right after this. As Ravishing Rick Rude defends against Sting. Good match, 3 stars. Finish happens when Harley Race accidentally hits Rick Rude in the back of a chair, and Sting makes the cover and gets the 3 count. So, yeah. So, good match, though. So then we get the Bunkhouse match. Dustin Rhodes versus Bunkhouse Buck. 3.5 stars. This was Buck's first appearance. He was new to the company. This is his first pay-per-view, and he beat Dustin Rhodes here, which essentially set off the whole Rhodes family, which started the Dustin versus Colonel Parker stable feud, which later became the Rhodes family stud stable feud going into late '94, going into War Games at Fall Brawl. So the Buck wins. Simple as that. So then we get the Boss versus Vader. 1 star. Vader beats the Boss with a Vader bomb, and then the Boss hits Harley Race with the nightstick and the handcuffs, and essentially he gets the name stripped from him, and he gets the nightstick and the handcuffs taken away from him. So it's a 1-star match, and the Boss is like a sore loser too. So So the main event. A rematch from Chi-Town Rumble and a series of matches in 1989 that Flair and Ricky Steamboat had. It's Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is a little over 30 minutes. Steamboat wins with, it goes to a draw because Steamboat puts Flair in a double chicken wing and goes into a pin and both their shoulders are down, which is a draw. There is a commentary mistake on this match. Schivonie and Heenan both say that that's the move that Steamboat beat Flair with at Chi-Town Rumble in 1989. That's actually not true. That is not true. Steamboat won with a cross body, not the double chicken or anything. Heenan I give a pass to, and Schivonie, because both of them were not in the company at that time, so they probably may not have known that, unless they watched it. But that is a commentary mistake. Steamboat gets a little miffed about that, since it was a 3 count. But again, in a situation of a draw, the championship goes back to the champion. I thought this looked like it was setting up for a Steamboat heel turn that never happened. And of course, we know that at Bash at the Beach 94, Flair's not on Slamboree 94, so he was off after this until Bash at the Beach to get him ready for Hogan. And quite frankly, the match that made WCW. And the match that made WCW and gave them the ability to actually have Monday Nitro and be competitive against the WWE was all because of Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan at Bash at the Beach 1994, which I might actually review as a retro review. Just because it is historic, as it is the reason that WCW made all their money that they were able to later spend to bring other people in from the WWE. Won that one match. You know, the match that Vince McMahon said could not main event WrestleMania because it didn't draw on house shows, but see again, WrestleMania, different. Hogan and Flair was a match that worked. Because think about this, Bash at the Beach was not one of WCW's premier events. Okay, Bischoff put it on there. Bischoff put it on a lesser pay-per-view, and that pay-per-view, Bash at the Beach 94, became the highest grossing WCW pay-per-view in the history of WCW pay-per-view. So, anyway, the next retro review in this series will probably be In Your House 4 or some WWE event. I'll think about that tomorrow. But for right now, if you like the video, hit the like button down there. Subscribe button is down there. I'll probably make a playlist of all the retro reviews I've done. So, thank you for watching. Bye.